Let's get some more on all these developments. Joining us now, a key House Democrat, Congressman Raja Krishnamurthy. He's a member of the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman, thanks so much for joining us. With this U.S. aid clearly stalled right now at a critical moment, Ukraine just suffered its biggest battlefield defeat in nearly a year. Are Trump and far-right House Republicans to blame?
Yes, I think that right now what we're seeing is Trump railing against this Ukraine bill the same way that he did with the border security bill that was about to be passed out of the Senate. And I think that what we're seeing is that on the battlefield, Ukrainians are starting to have to ration ammunition to the point where on any given day, the Russians are firing upwards of 10,000 shells at the Ukrainians per day, while the Ukrainians can only fire about 2,000 per day. So that's a 5-to-1 advantage, which means very serious consequences on the battlefield.
Given just how critical this U.S. military aid to Ukraine is, Congressman, are there compromises that Democrats can now make with House Republicans to get to an agreement?
Sure. I think a bipartisan approach is always favorable, and I think that Speaker Johnson should reach back out to Hakeem Jeffries if he wishes in order to create this bipartisan approach. I know that Hakeem Jeffries very much wants that, but not doing anything, which is what's happening right now, is not an option. And one of the people that's watching this very closely is Xi Jinping in China. He's watching this legislative process just as closely as Vladimir Putin. And as Secretary Mike Pompeo testified before our committee the other day, the Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party, we can't be tough on China and then weak in support of Ukraine. And if we are, it makes war over Taiwan more likely. And so we have to show strength. We've got to get this bill passed right now.
As you know, several foreign leaders voiced concerns, serious concerns, to several of your colleagues at that Munich security conference. Politico reported that Ukrainian officials told U.S. senators about a soldier actually scrolling on his phone in the battlefield for signs the House would approve this U.S. military aid. How does the U.S. look on the world stage right now?
We don't look good right now, Wolf. And I think that at this point, we need to look strong. Are we capable of doing this correctly in the House? Absolutely. But now we've got to hustle, and we've got to do it as soon as we come back. Because remember, it's one thing to get the aid passed. It's another to then get the aid onto the battlefield where it will make a difference. And so our Pentagon planners need some time to do that, but we've got to hustle in the House.
Yes, you certainly do. President Biden says he's weighing more sanctions on Russia right now for the death of Alexei Navalny. What consequences, Congressman, do you think the Biden administration should impose on Putin for Navalny's death?
Well, at this point, I think that we have to look at all options on the table. One thing that we haven't seriously looked at is, of course, the reserves that the Russians have in the West, roughly $300 billion of frozen reserves. And I understand that there are concerns about going after those reserves. But at this point, I think we have to open the door, because what is happening with regard to Putin's brutality in Ukraine, along with the impunity with which he is assassinating opponents like Navalny and others, can't be countenanced. We have to take more actions to make it even more costly for Putin to engage in this type of activity.
What does it say, Congressman, that former President Trump has not condemned Russia for Navalny's death?
It doesn't speak well about the former president. And I think that that is all you need to know about why he's just unfit to be the president again. I think Nikki Haley said that he has been weak in the knees every time that he's with Vladimir Putin. And we need somebody who's strong, someone like Joe Biden, obviously, who has been handling this situation as well as I think we can. But obviously, in Congress, we need to step up to the plate as well.
Congressman Raja Krishnamurthy, thanks as usual for joining us.
Thank you, Wolf.